All right, a quick pros and cons video of the 2021/2022 Jaguar F-Type. And I'm going to be mentioning some of the points with the 2022s here in this video. But if you want to see my full in-depth review that I did with all the driving impressions and everything, I will leave in the description box the full review link down there, so you can check that out after you watch this. But this is meant to serve as a quick buyer's guide video. All right, the first pro to this F-Type is the way that it drives. I really have always liked the F-Type, even the previous generation. This is a dedicated sports car on its own platform. It's got double wishbone suspension, front and rear, so it drives properly. It has a great poise and precision that I really appreciate. But a con is going to be this engine. This is obviously the P300, the 4-cylinder. Clearly, you don't have to get this engine, and nobody recommends you getting this engine because not only is it not that quick, especially out on the highway, if you're doing past 80 miles an hour, it kind of loses steam quickly. It doesn't even get amazing fuel economy either. I mean, I've been pounding this thing around and it's getting like 15 mpg. So you're not even getting a fuel economy gain, and there's just no point to this. But fortunately for 2022, the V8 is the only option to choose from. Okay, you have two V8s, the P450 and the R model with 575 horsepower, which that's a little bit overkill, but the regular P450 would be excellent. You can also get this car with all-wheel drive, but just buy the thing with the rear-wheel drive. It saves you some money, and it's going to be more fun that way. You're not going to be driving this in the winter time. There's just no point. So yeah, the 4-cylinder is going to be a con, but if you are shopping for a 2021, at least consider the V6. That's a decent motor to consider. And I did say that the handling and the driving prowess is a pro to this. However, there is one little con to mention here, because this is the 2021s. The biggest change that they've made here is with the chassis. They've stiffened up the chassis, and they've done some suspension reworking and retuning and recalibrated a few things. And that sounds like a pro, and it is to most people, but there was something about the previous generation F-Type where it felt kind of slippery and kind of fun to drive and a little bit more edgy than this. So if you want that more edgy experience, I feel like the previous F-Type provided that a little bit more than this, but you can still get even this 300 horsepower F-Type sideways if you provoke it enough. So you can still have fun with this. So it can be a pro and a con to some people. I think it's for the most part a pro, but something to note there. Another pro is going to be these seats. They are so comfortable, and the car itself is decently comfortable. It's on the firmer side, and what I mean is you're going to be feeling all the kind of bumps and everything translating into the cabin space and through the steering. So it's a very communicative car, but that doesn't mean that it's uncomfortable. It still rides decently, but just know it's a little bit more firm because it is a sports car in its truest sense, so you're very connected to this car. So that's a good thing in my opinion, but these seats are so comfortable and they make this car so non-fatiguing. Great lumbar support, and they look nice as well. But really, the biggest turnoff and the biggest con for me is this interior space as a whole, because this is predominantly a plastic interior, and it's fine when it's brand new, I guess, but this is not an interior worthy of a vehicle of this price and this demeanor, okay, this type of quality. This is $75,000 the way it's spec'd here. When I spec'd a 2022 V8 P450 on the website, it was a coupe, rear-wheel drive. It was about $83,000 with some good options. This is clearly overpriced, but mainly because it's the wrong engine. But yeah, this interior space is it's not going to age well. That's the problem. Like, if you buy this thing certified pre-owned 3-4 years down the road with like 30-40,000 miles on it, it's going to be all creaky and crunchy. Brand new, you can deal with it, but this is still not an interior worthy of a car of this league. Also, the infotainment it's not the best. It doesn't react that quickly, but you do have Apple CarPlay and Android Auto and a digital gauge cluster screen. But one pro to this interior is kind of the ergonomics. I like the little toggle switches. I like the dedicated HVAC controls, the seat controls here with the memory seats. Those are all great things. Safety systems like the blind spot monitoring really does help out in this little coupe. Also, the lane keep assist for once is useful in my opinion, because this car is kind of shaped like a square. Like, it has a cool look and demeanor. That's definitely a pro. People certainly take notice to this car. People love it. People point at it. But the way it's kind of shaped, it feels pretty wide when you drive it, so it can be a little difficult at times to place it on the road, only at certain times. So the lane keep assist kind of helps out with that. Another pro is the fact that this can be had as a convertible like it's seen here. And the convertible does enhance the driving feel of the car. You kind of hear the engine a lot more. It's actually satisfying to drive this car with the top down. Certain cars, it's not really worth getting as a convertible, but this is one of the few cars where if you want to opt for it, then go ahead. But the coupe can be had for less money, and you can also get a larger trunk. It's going to be a hatchback, but a con with this is going to be the limited amount of storage space in the vehicle and the small little trunk with the convertible. So that kind of sucks with the F-Type convertibles, but hey, this is probably your second or third car most likely, so it's not as big of a deal. Another con is going to be this Meridian surround sound system. This is total junk. Don't pay $950 for it. It sounds horrible. This is pretty awful in my opinion. I can't believe that they shoved this into this car. So those kind of things suck. You can get other cars like the LC 500 Lexus or even the RC F with a far superior Mark Levinson surround sound system. But really, I mean, come on, let's be honest. The biggest pro is its driving dynamics and the way it makes you feel, the prestige, how fun it is. It's literally one of the most fun cars that you can get in this era where just about everything is soulless and you feel nothing. This is one of the few kind of connected driving experiences that you can have. You can get this thing sideways, drive it with the top down. I mean, there's just so many great driving things going on here that if you buy it brand new, I think you're really going to enjoy it. And even if you buy used, I mean, enjoy it with a warranty and know that the interior might be a little creaky and crunchy, but maybe you're not buying it for the interior. Maybe you can bypass and overlook a lot of this stuff because there's a lot more good here than bad. This is one of my most favorite modern day sports cars out there for sure. I mean, it really does feel special, especially compared to the Challengers, the Mustangs, the Camaros, the kind of cheaper performance cars. This has a totally different demeanor to it that I think most people are really going to appreciate. So it's truly one to consider. If you have like 80, 85 grand to blow, do it on a 2022. Get that P450 and enjoy that supercharged V8 either as a coupe or as a convertible. And I don't think you're really going to have many complaints. Thanks again for watching this video. Check out my full review in the description box, but I appreciate you watching. Take care and goodbye.